Hey traders, Alex is here. So welcome to the Crypto Lab. Crypto Lab is the service that I founded recently. Since I was covering cryptos for almost from 2017, I was a trading analysis, but a couple of months ago I founded my own service. It is Crypto Lab. And it's a Discord-based service, and if you want to join it, just send me an email at cryptolabalex@gmail.com. We have a substantial coverage of all of the cryptos. Also, we have our top 5 crypto-related stocks and many other things in this Discord service. So I know it's weekend Sunday, but I just wanted to go over Ethereum wave count and what do I see is developing there. So let's dive in. This is the chart of Ethereum on a daily scale, and there is something which was bothering me here, so I can align this wave count together with the Bitcoin, and that was actually the situation right here. So if you want to count Ethereum as a 1-2, then it completely doesn't match the Bitcoin wave count, which is kind of a bit of unfounded discrepancy so far. So I did try to find a solution, and from this larger degree wave 3, I counted this as a 3 wave down, 3 wave up, and then a 5 wave move lower with a very small truncation. So truncations are very rare. In Elliott Wave, they do appear, and they're also very rare in this ending diagonal type scenario. But I couldn't find the other way to match this Ethereum and Bitcoin wave counts. And with this solution, looking for a small truncation, not really big. This is just a spike. This is a very small truncation, which is less than even, I think, maybe 2-3% from these lows. And if I take this and count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and all of this structure, I do look as a potential flat in the blue wave 4. The current developments here kind of match the Bitcoin wave count pretty nicely. Okay, so let me go and follow through this. What do I see now? So from these lows here in November, December 2022, obviously we have some type of a 5-wave move higher in this green wave 1, and then we can say this is some type of most likely a complex correction. I wouldn't label it as a ABC because I mean you can snitch a diagonal here. It needs to be measured. So let me check that. So potentially we might have here leading diagonal, which doesn't work because the wave 3 is the shortest wave and you cannot have that in diagonal. So I think it's more prudent to label this in Ethereum as a combination, which means that we have some type of 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down for this Y wave. And if we look how much this first wave retraced of this portion on the move on the upside, it was 50%. Obviously from there we have some very steep rise, which is usually a characteristics of the wave 3, as you can see everywhere. So here the wave 3 is very prominent, very kind of a 90-degree angle. And then also when the Ethereum was moving lower, you have also a character of the wave 3 down, which is almost also a 90-degree angle. So wave 3, especially wave 3 of 3, which we have here on Ether, let me just remove a couple of these degrees. So this is obviously a wave 3 of 3, which means that we have a primary degree. This is the intermediary degree, and usually wave 3 of 3. That's why it's called wave 3 of 3, because we are looking for a sharp move on the upside in the intermediary 5-wave move development in the larger degree wave 3. So it is like you have this, one of my friends explained this very well. When you want to look degrees in the Elliott wave, it's like small and big Russian babushkas, which is kind of a dolls, and you put one inside the other, and that's how you should look how the degrees in the Elliott wave development works. So this degree, obviously we didn't have a wave count validation in our service. We pointed out this might be a low and we expected the move on the upside. So the question is here, what is next? So far we have a wave 1 and 2, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So every sequence in the Elliott wave structure should have very clear 5-wave moves without, of course, wave count invalidations, following the rules that also wave 3 is not the shortest one. And here, wave 4 didn't enter the territory of the wave 1. This was a small flat. And it retraces around, I think, 0.618 exactly. And from there, I think this is still unfinished wave structure. So if we like to determine some type of a price levels, and I had many success in the last couple of years, almost 5-6 years, predicting in the future the outcome on Bitcoin and Ether using these Fib ratios on the larger time frames. And here, for example, if we want to look wave 3 targets, we should measure and do a projection of the Fib ratios. And usual projection that we use is equality, which means that this leg and this leg are equal. And then we are looking what is going on from there. If this starts to roll over when there is equality, in most of the cases, this will be just a pullback, and then you will see the price action roll over and start moving further lower, because 3-wave move signifies just the ABC pullback or some other variation of the Elliott wave pullbacks. But here, obviously, this wave structure progressed much more above the equality. And the next level that we are looking is 1618, which is the most usual target when you have the projection from the wave 1 through 2 to see where the wave 3 is going to finish. And now if you look the current development, all of this kind of sets pretty nicely in the picture that Ethereum is still actually not finished. And we have a more upside to actually complete this orange wave 5, touching this target, and we have a couple of other Fib ratio, which I will show you, which we'll do on a smaller time frame for potential higher levels. Also, what we can do, we can measure this intermediary time frame or a time analysis between the wave 2 and wave 4, and it comes around pretty much 200%, which is a very limit level. We can go a little bit to 2618. So this is the Fib ratio, which is actually measuring time spent in the wave 2 and time spent in the wave 4. Usually wave 4s are bigger in much of percentages than the wave 2. And here we also measure some time, because if you have a pretty big wave 2 without actually having some ratio correspondent, and it's kind of a try to be much more bigger than a wave 2, usually that will not work. Okay, so this is a kind of a cool correspondence between the 1, 2, and 3, 4. And I'm looking for more upside for this orange wave 5 for the green wave 3. And then, of course, I will be looking for some type of a pullback in the wave 4. That can be a triangle, can be a flat, can be a WXY, can be really sharp ABC. But you cannot know that in advance. As I said, I'm going to look for a test of these highs, 1618, and then for some form in the wave 4, and the final push up in the wave 5 before a bigger correction comes. So let's dive into smaller time frames. So this is the wave 4. We looked for a 1-2. This was a nice flat here. So we can bring back the levels we already had. So let me just bring back here. And as you can see, this is a ABC pullback, 1-2, very sharp wave 3, 4, and 5 in Ether. And then we have a complex correction. There is a 3 waves down in W, 3 waves up in X, and 3 waves down in Y. And if you measure the equality, you will see that almost precisely these two legs are equal, which is usual symmetry that we are going to see between the legs of a correction, especially when they are directional. Okay, so let's go from there. That happened in the, I think, beginning of May, more precisely, what was the date here? Yeah, beginning of May. And from there, we have current developing wave structure, which, as you can see, it's still far from this wave 5 here. Okay, so of course, every sequence in Elliott Wave should have 5 waves development, and from lows, if we also remove the intermediary levels, we can now maybe skip these time ratios so that they doesn't bother us here. So let me just do that quickly, and then we're going to measure time ratios here. And we can also remove these ones because we will not need them as we show them now. So we can remove this, we can remove the time ratio, and we can remove 4 versus 3, which actually is here. No, it's equality. Okay, so let's enlarge a picture a bit. And let's start looking what is going on here using the same basically metrics. So as we did on a larger time scale, we're going to do now this in a smaller one. So obviously we have a 5-wave move here, very clear. So 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, and WXY pullback, which retraced almost 0.786%. So it was on a verge of taking out this low, where then you cannot count this as a 1-2 because according to the Elliott Wave rules, wave 2 cannot go below the beginning point of the wave 1. Anyhow, it didn't. And then we start developing very sharp moves. So I already explained the wave 3 of 3 in the intermediary degree that I explained on a larger time frame. Now you can see on a smaller fractals. And this is obviously wave 3 of 3, which is very sharp and very vertical. And then we have a pause in a correction. So what are these pauses and corrections? This is just a kind of a balance between the bulls and bears. Here people were short, there was some opposition against it, then the other participants was thinking, okay, this is still just a place to short it. They went shorted again, but then the opposition force of the longs came along and pushed higher Ethereum, and now we have another correction, which usually you will label as a wave 4. So I do think potentially we are at the end of the wave 4 here, and we can also this ratio, I don't know why, I tried a couple of times, it doesn't work. So let me just take the ratio from here so we can measure it. I will take the retracement levels, and then for the measurement of the wave 2, we will take the highs of the wave 3 and look for a 38% retracement or 23. 23 is usually for a triangle. So this now we can also measure a time spent in wave 2. So let's do and take a time measurement. 1618 comes at June 10th. We are at June 9th, so tomorrow. So either from here or potentially we already passed equality. So if we see another push lower towards this 38% retracement in Ether, I think that will be it. For the Ether, we can now do a measurement in a WXY. Equality say that this move down is already finished and we're going to start moving higher. So now you have to choose and pick between these two options. Also, what we can do, we can put some channel here and then look for a potential. And also channel is telling us that we are not going to reach 38% retracement, and that potentially we are already done here. Okay, so there is a kind of a process where you can eliminate one things by each order, and then you kind of find the best solution. So here, what will be the confirmation? Of course, the confirmation that this correction is done, it will be a 5-wave move up, either from here or a touch lower. Okay, so when this happens, usually I do always try to buy a pullback and then follow it toward the potential target. As the targets are concerned, so we have a 1618, which we already explained. So what we can do also, we can make the smaller degree target, which is telling us that the 4416 and 4662 is something that we might look for a potential target. The first target will be 4071. I obviously don't think that will be the target which will roll over, because we already tested these levels, and this is not, I think, a new all-time high for the Ether. So no, it's not. So I do think we're going to see that most likely in this zone. So my target, if the hypothesis that I'm developing here is confirmed by the 5 waves up, will be between 4,400 and 4,662, which is actually signaling me, that is giving me a kind of an area from where I can start to look to get out of the position, which I will take if I get this 5 waves up as a confirmation. So what you don't want to see on Ether, of course, is that if we fall down and this continues to roll over, then in that case, I think the wave 4 will become a much more bigger than the wave 2, and also the movement lower, if it is sharp, will actually suggest that this was just a 3-wave move, and then something else is going on, and then you need to go to the drawing board to see what actually is going on. So it has been a long video, 17 minutes, so but it's pretty much educational as well, so I hope you liked it. So this is how I will behave. I will look for a 5-wave move. This is my trade hypothesis, either from here or from a little bit lower, and then I will try to ride it towards this zone. So if you like to become a member of the Crypto Lab, where we do all of these things every day, write me an email at cryptolabalex with an X at gmail.com, and then I will give you an access to a Discord. So have a nice rest of the Sunday, guys, and see you in the next public update. Bye bye.